What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the show. I'm Dick. This is Dictate the Day. And I'm a little worried. I got something to bring to your attention. I was doing some research last night, and this is crazy. Get ready. Ooh, get ready. Give me a minute. Let's step into the vibe, shall we? I thought this digital music was a little apropos. The clips I got for you today, they're all entertainment. It's just me thinking out loud. My theories. I'm not a professional. I'm just here to entertain you. All right? My goodness. My goodness. Okay, all right. Let me draw this music to a close. Yeah, we back at it today. So yeah, last night I was doing some research and I have done clips on the digital ID, social credit score, the biometric scans, all the stuff that's kind of unfolding in our society and worldwide. You may know about the UK and what they're implementing. If you want to work, I got some clips. Everything from people who are not signing up for the digital ID. They are freezing bank accounts. It's crazy. But like I said, it's all just entertainment. Today is the 11th, 11/11/2025. It is Tuesday. Shout out to all the awesome veterans, heroes out there. You know, we wouldn't be here doing the damn thing, telling our stories, if you will, freedom. But I'm telling you, man, I feel like these new measures that are being brought in, freedom is at risk. And I'll show you why. Let me bring up my first clip. Man, it's crazy. Normally, I show a bunch of different clips. These are all going to be kind of in the vein of the social credit, digital ID. Like, it's nuts. I'm going to kind of keep it short and sweet today. Let's get this ball rolling. Thank you for checking out the channel. Ooh, yeah, gets me fired up. All right, let's go.
ID. Okay, 17 countries have rolled out or passed digital ID laws in the last 3 months.
Can you do me a favor and explain to me what digital ID is first?
It's implemented in stages, though, too. So it's implemented in stages. So digital ID is essentially tying your biometric. The ultimate goal is tying your biometrics to a essentially IP address on maybe, let's say, a blockchain, so that you can have your own social credit score based on the things you say, the things you pay, and the things you do.
Black Mirror.
Very 1000% Black Mirror. So basically every single Revelations type prophetic show that you've ever watched, that.
Because when I think of digital ID, I have been flying a lot lately, especially with Delta, and it has digital ID on it, and it's awesome because you walk up and you're like, it shows your picture. I TSA pre-check and digital ID. I walk up, don't take my shoes off, my belt off. It scans my thing. They don't need my boarding pass. They don't need my passport. They don't need anything.
Well,
I'm in. I'm like, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, it is awesome. Don't get used to traveling though. Because beyond in this podcast, they're gonna flag your ass here in about 2 years.
Shit.
Yeah, bro. You won't even be able to start your car. Right, so it's that like inability to be able to buy or sell unless your social credit score checks out. So there's 17 countries that have all rolled out or passed this. Okay,
hold on.
All right.
When you say social credit score, because there was a Black Mirror episode. Did you watch Black Mirror yet?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Get to your point, because I want to say 17 countries that are doing this now. The EU, the UK, Laos, China, Taiwan, Mexico, Zambia, Canada, Ethiopia, Thailand, Vietnam, Australia, Costa Rica, Switzerland, and Papua New Guinea.
Mexico is trying to, the new president is trying to pass a law saying that you need making fun of any political figures or the president of Mexico, you'll be fined up to, I want to say, $20,000
or 3 years in prison.
If you make a meme.
Somebody just went to jail in the EU just over a meme, because now it's time for digital.
That thing that they were talking about at the last was like, if you talk any smack about the government or, you know, politicians, or if you're doing anything risque on your socials there in the UK, you will be arrested. You will go to jail. You will pay fines, and it's happened multiple times. This clip is a little bit older. There's a bunch of articles on it. You know, that guy, the other gentleman that was speaking, this is the Truth Disorder podcast, by the way. Check it out. He was saying how easy it is. Like, oh man, I love it because I just do. That's one of the ways they try to sell it to you is, hey, life is easy, stress-free. You don't even need to carry your cell phone, your wallet, nothing like that, especially if it's some weird implementation of a chip, a ring, I don't know, a headband, something that gets injected into your bloodstream. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, and this is entertainment. Okay, let's keep this ball rolling. I want to keep this short. I would really like to have more people watch this, but every time I do this subject matter, it's either this, AI, or whatever's going on in our food, because I've done a bunch of videos on all those. I'll get like 20 views, and then the thing just drops dead, and it never gets viewed again. So if you could do me a favor, if you could like, subscribe, share, bell notification, whatever it is, the more interactions I get, the more it gets spread out. I just don't think people realize the severity of the situation. And if we don't get in front of it, it's going to be on top of us. Watch, here we go.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. I am announcing.
I feel like I'm watching a movie when I see these, but this is real. This is a little bit older. I've shared this clip on one of my past videos. This is the Prime Minister. I'm not sure what his title is. It's the UK, so their politics work a little bit different. But people are not having this. There's this petition that you can view online, and last time I checked last night, it was like around 2 million people are like, hell to the no. So I don't know how successful this is going to be if enough people go, nah, we ain't doing it. That's why I'm trying to get this information out there. I don't want to do this, and I don't think a lot of people do. Let's keep going.
Guys, just watch this, because there's a...
This is the Black Mirror episode. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, they're all a little bit different, but they're all a little bit on the scary, freaky side because they kind of predict the future. Entertainment. You know, there's this theory, I'm going to try to say this fast, that in the world of Hollywood and all of those things, the control, the television, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. In the realms of like black magic and sorcery and all that stuff, I roll my eyes because, you know, there's a rule that if you cast spells on people, you have to tell them, or the bad karma, the bad juju comes back to you. So they protect themselves by in some cryptic way showing you, hey, we're going to try this out on you. Okay, we told you, so now we're safe. I don't know if that's true. That's just something that I have found through all of my discoveries, through this vein of thought process. But I will say this, there's people out there that are in control of this stuff. They believe it. Okay, here we go. The clip from Black Mirror. Watch this. Let me start it.
Guys, just watch this, because there's a few similarities.
That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You gotta be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Oh, I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.18. Sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking.
But it's so close.
There's just nothing I can do.
Christ, I mean, surely.
I'm gonna have to ask you to moderate your language then.
And so this system in China that exists is extremely advanced. They can detect if it's a man or a woman. They can guess your age. They can detect what kind of car model it is, who the manufacturer is. This is a sort of technology that we see in all these dystopian sort of films and whatever, and people keep putting it off and thinking that this is something that's going to happen later in my kids' lifetime or my grandkids. It's already here.
In that Black Mirror world, live or work. In ours, it's your data, every face scan, every digital search, every click, quietly building your digital reputation. There's tech out there that can even read your age, your mood, and even your social circle. They call it a TV show, but maybe it was a test to see if we knew when fiction would become reality. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Guys, just watch this.
Okay, look. With what they were kind of explaining there, you know, you can get in trouble for not doing what you're supposed to do, whatever that may be, with the confines of the law. And since the biometric, the surveillance, all the things, they're watching you to, you know, attend to your score. According to the information we just watched, it could even be your social circle, like who you're hanging out with. If they've got bad social credit scores, just being around them could bring your score down. So like the control, the tentacles into your life is crazy. All entertainment though. Here we go. Let's keep being entertained.
Have you heard of Microsoft's global patent number 060606? 2016, Microsoft partnered with the Gavi Vaccine Alliance, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, WHO, UNICEF, World Bank, WF, and the UN to start the global initiative ID 2020. The goal? To create digital ID for everyone, with the plans to link biometric data to verify identity, a global database to monitor all humans. Think of the implications with CBDCs, vaccine passports, social credit-like systems. But how would they monitor every person? This is where Microsoft's patent comes into play. WO-2020-060606.
Watch this.
Patent for a system where human body activates brainwaves, body heat, movement, etc., is used to mine cryptocurrency. It uses body activity as proof of work instead of traditional mining that requires massive computer power. The system would reward users with cryptocurrency when their body data meets certain conditions. If you tie ID 2020 and 060606 together, the combination could be used to track and control access to money, services, and even movement. Become a social credit system where access to cryptocurrency depends on behavior and compliance. Add in a layer of AI and automation, AI would determine who gets rewarded and who doesn't, based on your body's responses. Imagine being forced to comply to something and produce a certain brainwave condition before being able to buy or sell. Some may say, they can't do that, that's crazy, it only happens in movies. You're just trying to fear porn us. The patent number is literally 060606. I don't know what else to tell you. Have you heard of Microsoft?
They say in certain circles, that's the sign of the beast. The whole thing about, you know, your body having the right conditions to mine cryptocurrency, it makes me feel like plugged right into the Matrix and we're the copper top batteries. Like, what? And depending on how you feel, your mood, your attitude, if it's not just right, no access to money for you. Like, that's how they'd sell it to you. Hey, you get this installed, you get to mine your own cryptocurrency. Bam, you're making money just being yourself. Yeah. Man. Okay, let's keep going. Oh my God. Roll on.
Everywhere she goes, Oh-Young Hao-Yu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves, is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Hao-Yu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen.
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Ai-ni are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it. Something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it. Janice Mackey-Frere, NBC News. Everywhere she...
Oh, man, it scares me so bad where they said, like, people can tell on you. Depending on a person's situation, maybe they would fabricate or lie about something they saw you did or that you said, and, you know, just to better themselves in the situation. Oh my God. Like, I realize that's another country. But, you know, we've already got some things here. I can't even log into my email or anything without it wanting me to do, because I haven't set it up yet. It wants me to give my biometrics. It wants me to do things, everything from my fingerprint to my eye. I just keep skipping it. Like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to skip said thing. And I need to get into my email. I need to pay bills. I need to answer email. You know, all the things. Damn. Okay, let's keep going.
There's a coordinated global policy push for digital IDs as the new form of government-issued identification credentials. And they're essentially all based on your biometric data, which can be your fingerprints, your face, the iris of your eyeball. And the idea is essentially to collect all of that data and have it housed or have it tied directly to your digital ID. So your physical ID will be mapped to the digital ID. Digital IDs are not really a separate project from CBDCs and this new digital financial system. And UN documentation and also documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, they very overtly state that CBDCs and digital IDs are meant to go together. And without digital IDs, the CBDC digital finance system cannot exist. They have to know who you are. And so they want to have your wallet tied to a digital ID and have that digital ID be mapped to your physical ID through the biometric data collection. One of the main reasons for this coordinated global push to develop digital IDs is because it's deemed essential to the entire Sustainable Development Agenda, which is the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, also known as Agenda 2030. And the specific part dealing with digital IDs is within SDG 16, which is about building peaceful and inclusive societies. One of the indicators of SDG 16, 16.9, calls for legal identification for everyone in the world from the time they're born, essentially. One of the main words they use to market this stuff is equity and inclusion. The idea that we need to include everybody in these new systems. But if you don't participate in digital ID, you won't have a legally recognized identity, you won't have rights, you won't be able to access services without it. So it's being framed as promoting inclusion, but the system itself is inherently exclusionary and has been used to track and surveil people, to link people to, essentially all their activities, what they say online in some of the countries that have rolled this out, and has been used to facilitate human rights abuses. So it's not exactly as inclusive as they like to claim. It's inclusive in the sense that we want everyone equally included in our new system that we're creating, our new control system, fundamentally. What happened with the vaccine passport was to link your identity to your travel, to the freedom of movement. And if you didn't have one, you were excluded from entering certain places. So that, again, highlights the idea of how these digital IDs are inherently exclusionary, because if you don't have one, then you're excluded from, moving where other people that have those privileges. And if you don't abide by these various stipulations, you're excluded from participating in those things.
My thought is, what if the system gets hacked? What if somebody has it out for you personally and they're like, they hack the system and now you can't even like walk out of your apartment because you're confined until your score comes up? Or what if your name sounds like and is spelled exactly like someone else's name? What if the computer makes a mistake? You know what I mean? I mean, even there's just so many like what ifs, and hell to the no. Remember, this is all just entertainment. Let's keep going. Yeah, what if you decide you don't want to do it and you're like, no, I'm going to refrain from this. I'm just going to live my life as is. Even if it's difficult, it's cool because I got money in the bank. Well, guess what? You don't do what they say, allegedly entertainment, they freeze your bank account. They did it in Vietnam, you see that there, and Taiwan. This says 86 million bank accounts. That's a lot of money. I mean, even if each person had $1, that's 86 million. So we know it's way more than that. And I have seen clips of people rioting and protesting in front of the banks, you know, in the countries in Asia. I've seen, you know, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people in the streets in Europe. Like, this ain't, people, and I get it. Watch this.
Is Vietnam the testing ground for the new banking order? Well, recently, Vietnam imposed a requirement for a digital ID, including a biometric scan of everyone in order to have a bank account. And what they did to enforce this is they closed 86 million bank accounts and seized all of the assets in those accounts. So the owners of those accounts have no ability to do banking or access their funds because they chose not to sacrifice their privacy and submit to this biometric surveillance tracking mechanism. Well, this is not something that is going to stay in Vietnam. This is a test because if we look at, for example, what's going on with the European Central Bank and Digital ID initiative in Europe, as well as the Real ID and the CBDC system FedNow being imposed in the United States, we can see that it is coming to us as well. So what are you going to do about it?
What do we do about it? Wait till you see what is being implemented here in the United States.
If the police put cameras on every doorstep and car trackers on every block, there'd be mass outrage. But thanks to two big tech companies, that's basically what's happening in America today. Amazon's Ring makes doorbell cameras that are motion detected and always online. Homeowners can see and record video through those cameras, and police can access that video by request. And the cameras now use facial recognition to try and identify anybody who walks by. Now combine that technology with Flock, a company that sells AI cameras and license plate readers. They look like this, you probably passed them many times, but they scan and record every passing car into a database that cops can look at when investigating crime. Ring and Flock just announced they're partnering up, so any police department that gathers Flock data can look at Ring data too. The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution limits how police can track Americans by protecting them against unreasonable searches and seizures. And I think most people would find it unreasonable to track the faces and locations of millions of Americans who've done nothing wrong. But cops in this country have never had more surveillance powers than they have today. They have a massive searchable network of where we go and what we do. And a big reason for that is these private companies, which profit off people paying to surveil themselves. I've reported on these companies a lot over the years. The problems are really common. Really intimate details of people's lives get leaked or abused. And people get arrested for crimes because the cameras got it wrong. But even when these tools work perfectly, Americans are still at risk. Where does any of this end? If the police put cameras on every doorstep and
yeah, because this is being sold, and I get it, and it does make sense as far as like safety and security, and if somebody wronged you or broke the law or did something horrible to you, your family, your belongings, you would want them found, and it sounds like this would make it easier to do so. But what if you, by accident, or maybe on purpose, but there's continuating circumstances around it, you broke the law, you accidentally ran a stop sign, you pick it, and now you're in this system, and let's say by this time the social credit has been enacted, all this kind of stuff, and those loss of points made it to where you couldn't buy your groceries, or you couldn't pay some bill, or you couldn't, you pick it. It's Just a thought experiment, entertainment. One more. Watch this.
The company that tracks your license plates is about to start listening for your voice. It's a new feature from the surveillance company Flock Safety called Human Distress Detection. Thousands of their high-powered microphones are already installed in cities across the country. They were sold as simple gunshot detectors. Now, with what could be a simple software update, they're turning into a citywide listening network. This is the same company that was caught sharing its massive license plate reader network with ICE. According to one source, 99% of Flock alerts do not result in any police action. And in Chicago, a child was shot at by police who were responding to a false alert from a similar system. The company that tracks your license plates is about to start listening for your voice. It's a new feature from the...
What if? That's it. That's all we're going to talk about today. We're at 25 minutes. I'm going to keep it light. Once again, what if a hacker gets a hold of this and the hacker is like, I'm going to ruin this person's day. If you don't know what swatting is, it's where somebody calls the SWAT team to your house. They call and they tell a lie about you're doing something nefarious in there. And then boom, SWAT comes in and you're just sitting there chilling, watching, playing video games. Like there's hundreds of clips online of this happening. What are the implications with all this surveillance stuff if somebody goes in and creates, whatever, or a mistake is made or whatever? Damn, it's crazy, y'all. Every day I'm alive, especially now in the time that we're in, it just feels like a movie. And for some of it's kind of cool, but some of it, nah, it's not cool. Not cool. All right, we did it, y'all. I kind of stayed in the same vein of thought process. I hope this reaches people. I hope they get a better understanding of what could potentially be headed our way. Remember, it's all entertainment. Do your own research. I'm Dick. This is Dictate the Day, and Dick is gonna dip. I'll see you on the flip. Let me fire up a little music to get us on out of here. I really do appreciate you coming by and checking it out. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you so very much. And if you're thinking about subscribing, go ahead and do it. And if you're just checking me out, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I try to exit every single one of these with, some words of encouragement, something I have learned. I like to give you something positive. And I always say, share your love, spread your knowledge. And, if the stress of the world or the potential future has got you freaked out, remember all we can control is the moment we're in right now. Can't change the past, and you can't predict the future. So who knows, right? Let's keep it positive. Let's stay in the moment. Let's spread our love. Let's share our knowledge. Thank you very much. I love you. Appreciate y'all so very much. Like I said, let's get some music on. Okay? Okay. I thought this sound of music was kind of cool for the subject matter. It's Tuesday. I really hope everyone's taking their day. Dictate your day. Let's go. See you next time. Thank you so very much. I really do love you. This is Digiphone by the Div Kid. Dick out.